Hello, welcome back. Today we are making a cement retained implant crown for tooth number 7. So we are going to accomplish this with a core file from Atlantis. So what that means is we have already taken our scan, we've sent that out for a custom abutment to be designed, and they have returned the core file, which we will see in just a moment. Administration's been set up. We're going to make an Emax crown for this tooth number 7. Under our edit model, you can see what that custom abutment is going to look like. So this is data given from the core file, where the abutment is not yet seated in the patient's mouth, but based on our impression, we're able to virtually seat that abutment. So you also notice that the margin is already drawn for us, so we won't have to do that. All right, same thing we always do. We're going to start by editing our model. Use our cut tool, get rid of the junk data that we don't need. Goodbye cheeks, goodbye lips, opposing arch, same thing. We don't want all of this cheek in here. Let's just get rid of it. Same thing on the back side. Model's been trimmed. Model axis, line the patient up on an articulator. There we are. Left click rotates, right click drags. All done. Jawline. Take the blue number. In this case, it's yellow. So if you ever have this problem, you can always just go back and back a panel and then forward a panel, and it should turn blue. Let's see. Or we can click this reset. There we go. Now it's blue. Draw margin. Looks like resetting that got rid of our margin. So I may, let's see if it will auto track. Normally you don't have to do this step, but that's okay. We can auto marginate. How clean and crisp that thing is. There we go. We got it back. So lesson learned, don't reset the yellow dot on a core file. We're learning things live today. How about that? And that's okay. That's why they call it the practice of dentistry. We're always getting better. Okay. Next is insertion axis. So I want this to come straight down onto my abutment. See if we can change that some so we don't have any undercuts. I'll put it a little bit. There we go. That looks better. A little bit right there. I'm not too concerned about. Okay, next screen. Spacer. So in this case, really we're looting because we can't bond to an abutment. So 80 microns is what we're going to leave it at for our spacer. So radial spacer, occlusal spacer will stay at 80. Minimal thickness for an anterior Emax crown is only 500 microns. So we can drop this down, both for radial and occlusal thickness. Okay. Just get a proposal, and then we'll probably go back to our positioning tab. Okay, yeah, that looks ugly. So let's go to positioning. We're going to turn off this adapted restoration calculation. That basically means we're going to set the tooth where we want it to be, and we want our computer to just respect that. So it's not going to try and close any contacts. It's not going to change the contour. Wherever I tell it to put the tooth, that's where it's going to be. This patient's got some veneers that look pretty bulky. This was done at another office. But we're going to try and match what he's got. Let's take that in just a little bit. Okay. Let's try that one. Let's go to edit element. It's going to give us a proposal. It should just attach our tooth to the margins and give us exactly what we just positioned. All right. So we don't love this little neck on the tooth. Let's check our minimal thickness. We've got plenty of material on the facial. We'll have to bulk the lingual out. We'll do that later. All right, well, let's come in here. Let's play around positioning a little bit more. Set that. So I like my incisal edge position. We really just want to tuck in that cervical portion. We'll do that shortly. Let's go back to our element here. We may use our shape circular tool to do this. Looking just a little bit chunky here. In this area. Well, let's take that down some. Let's use our form smooth tool, see if we can get it to lay a little bit flatter. When I look at the profile, I just don't want to see my crown sticking out a bunch. Okay, I think that looks better. Let's check our incisal edge position. Looks okay. One of the things I like to pull up when I'm doing this is our grid. So we're going to line up the centrals to evaluate the laterals. We're going to right click and slowly drop. Looks like the laterals are going to touch that line about the same time. If you look, 9 looks almost a little bit shorter than 8. Let's fix that. There we go. Now the laterals touch at the same time when the centrals are positioned properly. Okay, so that grid mode looks good. Let's continue to evaluate our contour here. Let's just a little bit bulky. Why don't we try and add some mamelons and see if that doesn't help us out some. So incisal variation, we're going to bring up our strength to about 35. Looks good. And we're going to change this variation until we find one that we like. Normally I'm a variation 3 guy. It's got the taller mamelons on it. That looks better. Let's also not forget that we're going to contour this with a diamond burr after it mills. So that is the secret to making aesthetic anterior teeth, is oftentimes we can't do it all on the computer. We're going to have to come back and accentuate these mamelons with a diamond burr by hand. So that is something I'm going to do after I mill, but you can see the depressions on this tooth right here are pretty significant. I'm going to match that with post-mill processing. But let's just work on this a little bit more. Shape circular tool. Just gonna taper that facial aspect in slightly. That distal marginal rib, or the distal mamelon there, we're gonna bring in just a touch. There we go. Okay, so it's starting to look like a tooth. I don't so much love it compared to the neighboring, or compared to the other lateral. The other lateral looks a little blocky to me, but these central incisors have lots of anatomy. So that's what I'm gonna go for. I want it to look more like these centrals since that's what it's next to. I think that will look better. I hate giving patients blocky bubble teeth. We're not gonna put chiclets in someone's mouth. We're gonna make it look good. Okay. Let's start looking at our contacts. So we're going to take these other teeth away and look at our contacts. I'm going to bring this out just a touch. It's going to get worse before it gets better, and that's okay. Facial some. Okay. Come back with form smooth. No yellow, no red. Long, broad green contact. That's what we want. Turn the strength down. Just want to slightly soften that edge at that line angle. Okay, that looks better. Distal now, let's just start by reducing the amount of contact we've got. So no red, no yellow. Let's get rid of all of that. You see that red line there? That's an artifact. We're not concerned with that. It's not, doesn't mean anything. It's just a software item. This red down there is tissue contact. That definitely does not bother me. I'm more interested in having a nice emergence profile than I am worried about my pressure on the gums there. That's not going to be too much. Okay, and then we start to work on the lingual. So this will be a shape circular tool. Just going to pull this out some. Pull that a little bit more. So I can go back with the smooth tool and just get rid of some of these lumps that I've created. And still have thickness so that I'm not too thin. All right, so all of that melts together to be nice and smooth. Shape circular. Fix that minimal thickness. Looks good. All right. And that is going to be our tooth design. So let's not forget, when this comes out, we're going to accentuate these mamelons a little bit more with post-mill processing. I'll probably add some perichromata here at the cervical neck of the tooth. And then we're going to do some custom sanding and glazing to match our color. But as far as the computer part goes, that's just about it. I'm going to reduce this contact some. We don't want to struggle to get this seated. So double turquoise is good. That green's a little much. There we go. That looks better. Got that nice rounded arch form at the front. Everything flows together. My tooth does not look out of place. So we have a winner. And there it is. If this were screw retained, then we would make a dimple on the back so that we could cut that hole out. Because it's cement retained, we don't need to do that. This is just going to get delivered with lute by luting in the mouth. Now that I look at it, I don't love that depression there. Let's fix that. Let's see if we can't fix that. Form smooth tool. Okay, should be better. There we go. All right. There's our lateral incisor.